M connectivity. So we know the condition for M adjacency. Two pixels, that is P and Q, taking values from V are said to be M adjacent if either any one of the conditions is satisfied. Either Q is the in the N4 of P, that is Q is either the horizontal or the vertical neighbor of P, or Q is the diagonal neighbor of P. Q can be either the horizontal or the vertical neighbor of P, or Q can be the diagonal neighbor of P. So in the second case, if it is a diagonal neighbor, it has to satisfy one more conditions. That is N4 of P intersection N4 of Q should have no pixels with value from P. This we can explain from this figure. I have marked the two pixels, one as P and another as Q. We have to check whether there is a M connectivity exists between these two pixels P and Q. Okay, so I start from P. I have two conditions. First one, Q is the N4 of P. That means Q is either the horizontal or the vertical neighbor. I can do the connection. So I start from P, and if I mark this as my Q and this is my P, I can mark a connection from P to Q if the first condition, according to the first condition, if Q is the in the N4 of P, that is Q is either the horizontal or the vertical neighbor of P. Here Q is the horizontal neighbor of P, so I can do the connection. Okay, if I consider the second condition I can mark a connection if Q is the diagonal neighbor of P. That is, if Q is the diagonal neighbor of P. Here I have, this is my, if I consider this as my Q, consider this is my Q. Okay, consider this is my Q, and I can make a connection from P to Q. If Q is the diagonal neighbor, that is, in all the cases you have to consider one, all this P, Q, etc. should take the value from the set V. Okay, here I define the similarity matrix, that is set V as 1. Since all the values of P and Q, my starting point P and my finishing point Q is taking the value 1, I define the value as V as 1. So sometimes we may be given in the question, or you can define the V as 1 in this case. Okay, so I start from P. I can take the, according to the definition, I can do the diagonal connection if this N4 of P intersection N4 of Q having no pixels with value from P. So this is my P. So N4 of P means a horizontal and vertical neighbor of P. N4 of Q means a horizontal and vertical neighbor of Q. If I take the intersection of these two, so N4 of Q is this and N4 of P is this. So when I take the intersection of N4 of P and N4 of Q, so I have, this is one intersection. Similarly, N4 of Q and N4 of P, this one is another intersection. Okay, so when I take the intersection of N4 of Q and N4 of P, I have two values. I have to check whether this intersection has no pixels from with values from P. As this intersection is these two. So here one pixel is having the value 1. This value 1 means it is from the set P. If it is having no pixels with value from B, you can do the connection. But here I have intersection is having the value from set B. If this was 0, I can do the connection from B to Q. But this was not 0, it is having the value from set to B, that is 1. So I cannot do a connection from this P to this Q. I cannot do the diagonal connection. So in order to do the diagonal connection, you have to check this condition as well. That is, this, if I can do the diagonal connection, I have to check for the N4 of P intersection N4 of Q and find out which are the intersection and check it is not having any value from the set V. Okay, so here I can do the connection because this intersection is having a value from B. That is, it is having a value 1. So this connection is not possible. So this is only possible connection. Now I am at this point. Now again I check for the horizontal, that is the first condition, that is the horizontal or the vertical neighbor of P. So here I have this is the horizontal of the vertical neighbor of P. Again taking the value from set B, I can do the connection. Then here I have to move over here. So there is no horizontal or vertical neighbor with value 1. Now I consider the diagonal neighbor. So this is my new P. This is my new P. And this is my new value for Q. Okay, now I can do a connection according to the second condition. I can do a connection if this condition has to be satisfied. That is, if I take N4 of P and I take N4 of Q, N4 of P intersection N4 of Q will be this as well as this. It is now taking a value from the set V, so I can make a connection from P to Q. If any of this element was 1, I cannot do the connection. Since it is not taking a connection from set V, I can make the connection from P to Q. Okay, so this connection is possible. Now I have reached this point. Okay, from here, then again I check for the condition. So I have at this point, I again check for the condition. I have the horizontal neighbor. I can do the connection over the N4 of P. Since it is in the N4 of P, I can do this connection. When I consider this one and consider the diagonal neighbor, if this is my P and if I consider this as my Q, I find N4 of P that these two are diagonal neighbor. According to the second condition, I can make a connection only if this condition is satisfied. So I consider the N4 of P and I consider the N4 of Q. So N4 of P intersection N4 of Q means I will be having this one and this one. Intersection of these two. N4 of P intersection N4 of Q will be these two. And you have seen there is one element from the set V, so you cannot make a connection over here. Okay, so my connection is this one. You cannot make the connection on the diagonal case because there is intersection is having the value from set V. So this is my connection. Okay. Then from here, I again check for these two conditions. I have a vertical neighbor N4 of P, that is vertical neighbor means I have a neighbor that is in the N4 of P. So I can do the connection. Then from here again I have the diagonal neighbor. So for diagonal neighbor you have to check for the second condition. If this is my P and this is my Q, I have the N4 of P and I have the N4 of Q. Then in the intersection will be this value and this value. So both are having value 0, that it does not take any value from the set to B. So you can do the connection from P to Q. Now I have reached this point. Now I start from there. I have this Q is in the N4 of P. So I can do the connection. So this is the M path between P and Q. Okay, so in checking the M path or the M connectivity, you have two conditions. In order to draw the path, either Q should be in the N4 of P. If Q is in the N4 of P, you can directly do the connection. One condition is both P and Q should take the value from the set to B. Or you can do a connection along the diagonal. If Q is the diagonal neighbor, in that case, it should satisfy one more condition. N4 of P intersection N4 of Q should have no pixels with value from B. Okay, these are about M connectivity.